Is the government really about to drop $6,700 into the pockets of seniors 62 and older on Social Security and SSDI, or is this just another round of empty promises? And wait until you hear how Jasmine Crockett just put Congress on blast demanding real answers. All right, let's get straight into it, because this story has been lighting up social media, news outlets, and even dinner table conversations across the country. If you're someone who's 62 or older, or if you're on Social Security or SSDI, you've probably seen the headlines or heard whispers about this so-called $6,700 stimulus drop that's just around the corner. In this video, we're breaking it all down in plain, simple language. No confusing political lingo. No fake hype. Just the real story behind this $6,700 stimulus check, who it's supposed to go to, why the payments still haven't shown up, what Jasmine Crockett actually said about it, and what happens next. Stick with me, because there's a twist coming that you probably didn't see coming. And trust me, it's going to make you question everything about how this government handles senior benefits. So, first things first, where did this $6,700 number even come from? Well, let's rewind a couple of months. After months of rising inflation, rent spikes, out-of-control grocery prices, and Medicare premium increases, lawmakers started feeling the pressure. Seniors were reaching out to their representatives in droves. Letters, emails, phone calls, people were begging for help. In response, a bipartisan group of lawmakers introduced what they called the Senior Emergency Relief Act. The idea was simple: a one-time $6,700 direct payment to Americans 62 and older who rely on Social Security or SSDI for their main source of income. The reasoning? This $6,700 figure was calculated based on how much seniors have effectively lost over the past 2 years, thanks to inflation outpacing their COLA increases. Lawmakers behind the bill argued that this one-time check would help seniors catch up on rent, buy food, pay for medical bills, and cover basic living expenses. For a brief moment, it felt like hope. News outlets started reporting on the proposal. Advocacy groups like AARP started circulating petitions. YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter became flooded with videos and posts saying, $6,700 for seniors coming soon. But here's where the story takes a turn. Despite the bill gaining early support, it started hitting roadblocks. Behind closed doors, negotiations stalled. Some lawmakers were concerned about the cost. Others worried about how to distribute the payments efficiently, especially for seniors who don't have direct deposit set up with the Social Security Administration. Weeks went by, then months, and seniors started asking, "Where's the money?" And that's when Jasmine Crockett entered the conversation. And let me tell you, she didn't come in quietly. During a recent committee hearing focused on senior benefits and economic relief programs, Jasmine Crockett took the floor and absolutely unleashed. Her frustration was obvious from the first sentence. Her words, "We stood in front of cameras. We told America's seniors that help was coming. And now, weeks later, we're sitting here with no answers, no checks, and no accountability." You could feel the tension in the room shift. Some lawmakers looked down at their desks. Others flipped through their papers, pretending to be busy. But Crockett wasn't finished. She went on, "Seniors can't afford to wait. They're choosing between medication and food, between rent and heat. And we're sitting here arguing about budget line items? This isn't politics. This is people's lives." The clip went viral within hours. Suddenly, more media outlets started paying attention to the stalled $6,700 payments. Reporters started hounding Treasury officials, asking why the funds hadn't been distributed. Social Security Administration reps were asked to provide statements, and let's just say their responses didn't inspire much confidence. So what exactly is holding this payment up? From what we know so far, there are three big issues. First, there's the funding gap. While the bill was introduced and gained early support, it still needs to pass both the House and the Senate. And even though there's public pressure, lawmakers are locked in debates about the national budget, debt ceilings, and other unrelated spending programs. Second, there's the administrative nightmare. The Treasury Department reportedly hasn't finalized the payment mechanism for distributing $6,700 to millions of seniors, especially those who rely on paper checks or direct express cards. And third, politics. Pure and simple, some lawmakers are using this bill as a bargaining chip to push through other, unrelated spending priorities. And Jasmine Crockett? She's not having it. In a follow-up interview after the hearing, she said, "We cannot let seniors become pawns in political games. We made a promise, and now it's time to deliver." But here's the real kicker. As of right now, there's still no finalized date for when, or even if, this $6,700 payment will be distributed. That's left millions of seniors stuck in limbo. And let me tell you, the emotional toll is real. I've heard stories of seniors who stopped paying certain bills because they were counting on this check. Others who put off buying groceries, figuring they'd restock once the stimulus hit. Some have taken out payday loans or dipped into their tiny savings just to keep the lights on, thinking the government's help was right around the corner. And now, radio silence. So let's talk about what Jasmine Crockett is doing next. In her latest statement, she outlined three demands. Immediate disclosure from the Treasury Department about the exact status of the $6,700 payments. An emergency vote in Congress to push this bill forward without any more unrelated amendments. A dedicated hotline for seniors to call and get real-time updates about the status of their payment. And honestly, these demands are gaining traction. Other lawmakers are now jumping on board. Petitions are circulating. Advocacy groups are staging protests outside congressional offices. And for the first time in weeks, there's actual momentum. But here's the reality check. Even if the bill passes tomorrow, setting up the infrastructure to deliver these payments could still take weeks. There's a mountain of red tape to cut through. Verification systems need to be updated. Fraud protections need to be implemented. And let's not forget, millions of seniors are still waiting for past benefit corrections, let alone new stimulus checks. So where does that leave us? Here's the bottom line. Right now, the $6,700 stimulus drop for seniors 62 and older on Social Security and SSDI is in limbo. It's not a hoax, it's not just internet rumors, but it's also not a done deal. The bill is real. The intention is real. The support from lawmakers like Jasmine Crockett is real. But the money? That's still sitting behind layers of bureaucracy, political debate, and logistical hurdles. So, if you're one of the millions waiting, here's what you should do right now. First, stay informed. Only trust updates from the Social Security Administration, the Treasury Department, and trusted news outlets. Second, document everything. If this delay has caused you financial hardship, overdrafts, late fees, missed payments, keep a paper trail. You may need it later for reimbursement claims. And third, stay vocal. Lawmakers like Jasmine Crockett are fighting for you, but they need public pressure to push this over the finish line. This fight isn't over. And if you want to hear what Jasmine Crockett just said about the next round of Social Security reform proposals, click the next video popping up on your screen right now.